Me, 8 p.m. right on the dot, exactly as I said it was going to be. Hello, everybody. My name is Demonic Angel Lily, and welcome to Spell Candle, the demo. Now, as I have said the last couple of days, I was going to play Spell Candle in celebration of their Kickstarter launching, which I do currently have pinned in the comments. You can't see it on screen because I pinned it before I started streaming, but I promise. I swear, for those of you watching on YouTube later on, it is there. And for those who end up popping into stream, you better fucking click on that shit and go and check it out because I have been having my eye on this game for a hot minute now. The art, as I have said before, is gorgeous. The men, hot, impeccable, gorgeous. And yeah, and I also did get the Kickstarter release date wrong. It actually released yesterday, not today, and that is because there are time zone differences. The studio is not located here in America or on this part of the world. So yesterday was the 24th on the other side, but then there's today, and so it's technically already been out for today. But what did release today was the Fall in Love Festival over on Steam, which this game is also a part of. So I guess it's kind of like a 2 and 2 here. We're celebrating the Kickstarter, and we're also celebrating this the Fall in Love Festival. But just to give you guys a little bit of info about the game, let me go ahead and pull it up here. And I have stayed as ambiguous to the story as I possibly can. Is ambiguous even the right word? I don't know. I have seen the guys, though. They're all over their TikTok page, and I don't even know which one I'm going to choose. But Spell Candle is your grief coping mechanism in a 2D romance visual novel. Take on the role of a foreign correspondent turned investigator of magical crimes to uncover the culprit behind the mysterious disappearance of a sleeping god. So that is what we've got so far. And of the men, there seems to be one sea-type creature, dude. These are all like humanoid monster guys. Mostly human, but with some distinctly not human features, supernatural type deal. So you got the nymph-looking dude. I think there's like this one guy looks like a vampire, the other one's given Grim Reaper, and then the fourth one is given Mufasa in human form, okay? But yeah, like I said, I've stayed pretty just like unaware of the story in general. I always like to come into these things as fresh as I can. I have been informed that the demo is roughly 3 hours long. So worst case scenario, I end up having to do this tomorrow, but I'm going to see how much I can get done just today and get as far as we possibly can. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get ourselves started. See, look at that. Look at the art. See, this is one of the cool things that I love about visual novels is you can put in like so much detail into the background because it's just a still background. You don't have to worry as much about having to animate things, which if you can do that, have the just amazing and incredible art and the animation, like absolute kudos to you. But there's so much detail that can be put in here, just like the faint little shadows in the background. I love it. How far are you willing to go to contain war in a glass dome? I don't know. Just make sure nobody goes throwing any stones. Okay, space is not. What about enter? No, I'm gonna have to click through this, aren't I? Yes, I am. How many parents would you be willing to sacrifice? How many brothers would you kill? Would you grow numb to the pain? Become a zealous leader, willing to sacrifice anything for the greater good? Turn a blind eye to the orphans on the streets. Ignore those disabled, begging for a coin. Steal, bribe, and extort for a chance at peace? How many decisions would leave you lying awake at night, counting the souls you sent to the slaughter? Well, so long as I'm next to my wife! Any Epic the Musical fans? No? It's just me right now, so that would be a fat no. It's just me. Can living in war for millennia truly be considered life? Probably not. A loud whistle breaks the silence, rendering the carriage to a sudden stop. Perfect timing on that whistle, damn! The tip of my quill shatters as it smashes into the paper before I can put down my next thought on the page. God damn it. Identity control! The shout comes from outside and I put my notepad down, scoffing at the ruined nib. This is the third one today, and I'm tempted to throw my hands up in frustration and scream, "Girl, do it!" Or boy. This is labeled, I'm pretty sure, as an LGBTQ plus game, so I think the main character is whatever you choose. Or gender non-binary? Maybe? Gender ambiguous? I was selected to be the Eurasian delegation's reporter for this year's Dread Festival. That's a lovely name for a festival. It should be considered a great honor to be able to report on your country's political victories, no matter how small. But you can't expect a caged bird to sing happily. I reached into my leather satchel to find my identification documents before stepping out of my petite carriage. There's a shit ton of candles. This place is a fucking fire hazard. Like, I thought that first screen had a lot. No, this entire city is covered in it. I think that place looked like some sort of variety of afterlife. This is just disaster waiting to happen. I feel pleased by the chance to stretch my legs, annoyed that I have to go through this. I'd probably be annoyed as fuck. Enthusiastic, curious, no, I am annoyed as all hell. You're stopping me multiple times just to check my papers. Bitch, just let me through. Seriously, all of these goddamn candles, is this the kingdom of wax or something? Am I gonna meet the candle maker? I feel like CinemaSins, like I should just have a counter up on the screen with a ping going for every single candle that's on the screen. Oh my god. I'm sure there's a purpose behind it, just damn. Really hope they have a good fire department. Just a few feet ahead, an elven woman is going... Oh, okay, so mythological beings are commonplace here. An elven woman is going through the papers of an older gentleman from our contingent. And what role do you fill within this delegation? Her voice is like the sharp pointed end of an ancient spear. Ooh. Oh my. It's quite the description there. I am the senator representing the region of the Beastlands. Beastlands, okay. Is this Twisted Wonderland too? The elf sniffs the air around the delegate and frowns. She's beautiful. Glimmering mercury eyes peek out from underneath short bangs the color of milky quartz. Her skin, like deep iron ore, glitters gently in the rays of daylight. Vampire! Sure she's not Edward Cullen in disguise? After a very thorough read of the man's identification documents, she hands them back to him without a word. I find myself nervous as the elf's long, knife-like ears twitch and her attention shifts to me. I'd never seen anything like it. Her cold gaze examines me from head to toe before she reaches a hand out. Identification documents. I hand them over, and she scans through them quickly. Ooh, enter your name here. My name is Loy. Lilly. Boop. Choose your pronouns. Heck yeah, there we go. For the purposes of the stream, I guess I shall use she, her. And what role do you fulfill within this delegation? Okay. I was selected by the Empire to take an account of the Dread Festival for an article, mutually beneficial relationship between our nations, writing a positive piece about Quill and Gilars? Quill and Gilar? Leadership, I plan to record our general's involvement in foreign affairs for our newspaper. I mean, nothing wrong with telling the truth, right? Her eyebrows raised slightly at my response. After a moment, she nods, accepting my explanation. And your general? Where could I find him? The question perplexes me. Though the delegation had been traveling for several weeks, I hadn't encountered the infamous Shadow Master once. Shadow Master? Is that the guy who looked like the Grim Reaper? Had I? Upon seeing my bewildered expression, the elf offers a small explanation. He was not in his carriage. Oh, snap. Because he got bored of being confined in a turbulent box for days. A voice responds before I can open my mouth to formulate an apology. I step back from the carriage and seek out its source. The music, the posture, the make that is, oh my! Bro came in with the fanfare and holy fuck! Upon the wooden roof of my small carriage relaxed one of the most beautiful gentlemen I had ever seen. Wait, he's on my carriage? Bitch, what the fuck you doing there? Not me! At least say hi. With his eyes closed, his expression was so serene that I found myself wondering if I'd misheard him. So I think I might be deciding pretty early on who I want to romance. Like, how can you one-up that? Like, tell me how, slick-ass bastard. Shadow Master, may day and night preserve you. Oh! And he's the general, too. Welcome me. The man on the roof of my carriage opened his eyes and leveled the woman with a cold gaze. His eyes were the color of the flags of our empire. The color of blood and dangerous, forbidden things. Lattimore! Shit, man. I could hear the elven woman swallow from beside me so vividly that I wondered if the world around us had fallen quiet on purpose. May I please hear documents, General? God, my voice is cracking. A frown crosses his features before he quietly sat up, slid his feet over to the edge of the carriage, and jumped down with the grace of a cat. Okay, I need to rearrange my desk a second. Ooh, I kind of wish the music transitioned a little bit better on the repeat. It's a little bit sudden, but it's alright. It's good music. Just needs a little bit of a flow. God, he's hot. Here. He pushed a stack of documents that was so thick into the hands of the elf that it made me gape. It might take you a few days. He smirked, and I wondered where on himself he kept a pocket large enough to hold all the paper. A video game logic, you know, your pocket can hold like 10 billion swords. I'm sure paper is nothing. The elf blinked, scanned through the first few pages, then flipped through the next few with shaky hands, her face growing paler by the second. Peek into the papers, keep watching it. Man, fuck the paper. I'm more interested in him. The political leader of our delegation crosses his arms behind his back, his expression neutral as he scans the surrounding environment. I feel my breath hitch as his gaze passes over me for a split second. Girl, I'd be out. The elf suddenly thrusts the pages back at the general and gives him a shaky nod and thank you, before wobbling off to the next carriage. Is that necessary? The man's notorious crimson gaze turns to me. She asked for my papers. He shrugged. It wasn't my fault that she wasn't ready for what was on them. Somehow, behavior does little to surprise me. It might have been considered to let her know before it. Yeah, fuck her. Fall silent. Like, he's a general. I mean, how much rank could he possibly have? I mean, it should be expected, but still. A comfortable silence falls over us, and I notice the way his gaze wanders down below my waist, scrutinizing me. Bloody! What's up here, dude? You're hot, but not hot enough to disregard my respect. Respect for me. Something along those lines. A frown crosses his lips. I follow his eyes and... fuck. The ink, well... God, I wasn't expecting the fuck. I'm all here for it. Fuck. The inkwell I had left on the seat beside me must have spilled when the carriage came to a sudden halt. He is staring pointedly at a large black stain on the side of my pants. Ah, shit. Dark like my soul, at least. I hope you're not planning on wearing that to the welcome dinner. Of course not. I brought extra outfits. Totally. I highly suggest not embarrassing yourself for the Empire by doing so. Everything about this man was irritating. I won't. The look he gave me was one of complete apathy. I grit my teeth. A loud, high-pitched whistle traveled from the gates ahead of us. Someone is giving us the all-clear. The clicking of metallic hinges echo in the air, and I take it as my sign to return to the peace of my small carriage. I hope you have a good day, General. There wasn't a single sincere word in that sentence. You can have a great day with me, though, I'm just saying. He raised a set of eyebrows as I stepped into my carriage. Making sure to avoid the spilled ink, I turned around and shut the door in his face. What the hell? Look at him. A childish reaction, but his expression was well worth it. With blood pounding in my ears, I found a clean place to sit before the carriage resumed its movement shortly after, entering Omnis, the city of candle wax. Oh, okay. That wasn't too far off then. Ooh, okay. Almost looks like we got some, like, Greco-Roman type designs going on here. Especially with the dome ceilings, the pillars and the columns. Lots of steps, giant statues. Oh, yeah. Okay, but that throws me off a little bit. The curvature there. Doesn't quite look like a symbol, but I don't know. I'm not an architecture person. The capital city of the elves. I find myself eagerly peeking out through the window, making a continuous effort to forget the fact that I may have just angered one of the most dangerous men on the eastern continent. My eyes... Okay, wait. So are we Asian? Because those... the flags and the general design of the carriage going on here... the symbol that was on the dude's, more... I've already forgotten his name. Valamore? Fuck, I'm bad with names. The symbol there, I've seen that a lot in, like, like, Chinese culture depictions. So are we meant to be, like, Chinese? And then this would be, you know, Europe. My eyes wander between the many tall buildings made of marble adorned with golden embellishments before lingering on the rectangular houses with roofs assembled from slabs of multicolored quartz. Ooh. They're illuminated by the withdrawing river of light, the path of the goddess of day. All structures bask in the warm rays, coloring in various shades of brilliant oranges and gold. It is a breathtaking view. We pass under a long archway of stone upon which I can hear the bubbling of running water. Dozens of half-burnt candles of sundry colors and sizes sit atop each visible surface. I find myself itching to see what these streets look like at night. Also, who lights these candles? Do they just, like, last forever, or do you have to replace them constantly? I'm curious. My thoughts quickly bring me back to the journal in my lap. Quickly, I fetch a new quill from my bag and note down my initial impressions. After several days of travel, our delegation has finally arrived at Omnis, the legendary elven capital. The gates were guarded strictly and our official documents and identities were checked for validity. This year, the great empire's leading envoy for the peace celebrations is the Shadow Master. He's a very considerate leader. Sure. He sports a unique brand of charm, seems more accurate. He sports a unique brand of charm that inspires the awe of everyone around him. Like a hurricane or some other horrible natural disaster. He has a way with words. I am blessed to be able to experience the elves' exultation when I am around him. Exaltation? At least I'm not the only one terrified of this monster, but he's a hot monster. That makes all the difference. Okay, but not really. If you get treated like... If the guy actually acts like a monster and treats you with disrespect, then nah, that's not cool. But this is fantasy, so we can indulge into the slightly darker fantasy. I don't fucking know. Fantasy is not real life, but also he's hot. So I'm gonna give it a pass. We meander through the roads for another 20 minutes before the carriage comes to a final stop in front of the only building that looks terribly out of place. Yup, that would be our building. The tall rectangular pagoda that serves as the Ares Empire's embassy at Omnis. Why Ares? That's interesting. I would have expected something a little bit more, you know, Asian, Eastern, Chinese to fit the very, very clear design we got going here. Instead, we got the God of War, which I suppose also kind of tracks. And, you know, as I disembark, I spot the general already disappearing past the red curtains. He doesn't spare me a glance. Oppressive prick. Yes, I love our personality already. I'm given a small but pleasantly furnished room in the embassy and quickly ditch my pack in there before heading out into the city. I need to find a tailor somehow. Ask around, follow a trail of the most expensive looking buildings. Most lavishly dressed elves. I take a map of the city from the embassy to help orient me. Probably a map. Realistically, I would ask around just because I'm terrible with reading maps and just in general it's better to ask somebody who actually knows the layout. But in this situation, maybe a map would help better. Figure out where we are first. That's some magical ass shit going on there. The map itself isn't as detailed as I'd like, but I can make out the names of the districts of Omnis, as well as a couple of points of interest. I decided to take a look around the Enclave of the Gods, the area of the Earth Elves first, since I'd read so much about how lavishly they lived. It takes me about 15 minutes of walking and skulking about weird alleyways before I spot the cylindrical structures of rose marble. And like over here? Two golden curtains embroidered with large designs of a spool with pink string hung... Let me redo that. Two golden curtains embroidered with large designs of a spool with pink string hung from around its wide open double doors. Dark letters spell out the words, "The Hour of the Golden Ones," right above the entrance of the building. The gentle strum of a mandolin came from inside. Heart-wrenching, intense, soulful, and yet somehow welcoming. I step inside, yet find myself incapable of spotting a single worker. At least, not until three shadows of varying sizes shift from behind a caravan of curtains. They speak in some language I do not recognize. I would wait patiently until I noticed. I'm not gonna cause a disturbance, are you kidding me? No! All eyes not on me, please. I wait quietly, watching the outline shift behind the curtains that sway at the mercy of the wind. A customer? The medium shadow queries. Smells like it. Wait, no, shrill voice. Smells like it! The smallest silhouette, short and stubbly, moves to face my direction. Its voice high-pitched and snippy. Now's not a good time! I frowned, but I wasn't about to give up that easily. I need an outfit for a party tonight at the Aresian Embassy. Please. I kept my tone polite, but I knew an undertone of desperation had slipped in. I didn't want to see the general's smug expression directed at me tonight. Girl, did you not bring a change of clothes? A short silence followed, filled only by the gentle strum of the mandolin. We're busy and... Excuse me? I'm sorry, what was that? A predatory growl erupted from behind the caravan. Help her! The command rolled through the chamber with a low rumble. I felt myself tense as the tallest figure turned to face me from behind the curtain. But Natura... The growl grew louder. Natura? The tone was reverent. Oh. Obedient. Language now fully switched to common. The caravan of curtains rustled as a short elf that looked to be within the late years of his lifespan stepped out to help me. Oh. I'm not changing my voice. Right this way. I was quickly led behind another small caravan. Rubio, one of the designers of the Hour of the Golden Ones, and your extra hand to look your best today. Will you be needing help undressing? No, I'm good. Fuck. The question caught me off guard. I refused politely. Thank you for the offer, but I am accustomed to dressing myself. Kupio nods, surprisingly accepting of my choice. And I will see what I have that will fit your body while you disrobe. Drape yourself in the plush blanket on the Davenport if you're feeling bare. I don't even know if my mic is picking this up. I go too high-pitched and suddenly everything shuts down. Do not be concerned. We change them after each client that refuses to take it home with them. Before I could process his words, the elf had made his way outside of my changing area. It didn't take long before several beautiful outfits were brought to me. Kupio made it his mission to look everywhere but at my body as he delivered them and exited. His regard for my wishes put me at ease as I tried on the outfits one by one. Do any of these suit your fancy? Oh my. Wait. A racy blue and white draped dress with a beautiful belt made of pearls. Okay, I already know that these are going to be attributed to the different love interests. A conservative black cotton toga that sticks to my curves/muscles. A leather two-piece, a blouse with matching pants accented with golden bracers and rings. Oh. Ceremonial red and white robe of silk with a black embroidered sash. Oh. Okay, see, here's the thing. I kind of dig leather, so we're going with the leather. After I put the jewelry on and look into the mirror, I hardly recognize myself. The leather is tight, but the seams are flawless, allowing for freedom of movement. The gold accessories balance out the neutral ensemble, giving the illusion that this is worn by someone powerful. Damn right we fucking are. A great choice! The tailor appraises the way the item of clothing sits upon my frame. Is this the outfit to your liking? Oh, yes, please. Lovely! Now please follow me to the lockbox. I nod and exit through the heavy curtains to join the small elf at the pay desk, not expecting the looming figure that pushed past the caravan across from mine. Fuck, he has nipple piercings. Oh shit, he has abs. Oh shit, look at the size of his fucking arms! Dude can crush my head like a watermelon! Hello, sir. I'm sorry. I've already made up my... I swear, I've already made up my decision. Oh my... Don't look at me like that! You're making this hard decision harder, asshole! I find myself face to chest with a being unlike any I've ever seen before. A tall cross between man and monster with a powerful body and a rich skin tone. As I look up at him, his eyebrows jump in surprise, before his lips twist into a tameless smile. Seems like I made the correct choice. Excuse me? Getting you dressed. Oh. Is this game gonna have voice acting by chance? I need to know, for the sake of my heart and sanity, because if this game gets voice acting, it's fucking done. His voice was like a low purr, and I find my cheeks heating as he made a show of admiring my outfit of choice. You're stunning. Sir, we've only just met. Thank you. A large tail swishes back and forth behind him as he tilts his head to one side. Do you make a habit of helping others out? Did you also manage to find suitable clothing? Ooh. Oh, what I'm already wearing will suffice. My eyes wander over his Herculean body. Oh. Just a cross between Hercules and the Nemean lion at this point. Everything on this man, from his robust torso down to his powerful lion-like legs, seemed as if it should have been carved out of stone by a sculptor. I'd never seen anyone casually show this much skin outside of a bedroom in my life. Are you sure? I have faith. His eyes gleam, or did I just imagine it? Now then, let's go sort your bill out. What do you mean, let's? As in, like, the two of us? Giving me little chance to respond, the creature moved to stand in front of the tailor. I paid for myself! That would be 250 gold! My coin purse suddenly felt too light. In the Ares Empire, that much money could buy between 5 cottages and a defensible small tower, depending on the military region. Blah, blah. But, you repeat the sum for me. 50 gold! Are these clothes going to go to work, clean, and cook instead of me or something? I find myself staring down at my chosen outfit with new doubts. Maybe I'm just trying to clean the ink spill with some hot water and salt? Just put it on my tab, Cupio. Wish, Natura! The elf bowed politely as I turned to face the creature behind me. His smile caught me off guard. Sir, over here buying me clothes. Damn, okay. I know he senses the way I want to complain, to fight back against his generosity. Bearing in mind we just met, this is too much. I hurriedly stepped even closer to Cupio, who looked between me and the tall man, now behind me, uncertainly. Do you always fight back this hard when someone tries helping you out? I know I've given him a weird look when his smile widens, showing off a pair of sharp-topped canines. I'm so captivated by this man that I forgot the question that he just asked me. Yes? An amused hum leaves his lips, and I find myself wondering what it is he gleaned from this curt line of questioning. This isn't a battle you need to fight. Your purchase is on me. Consider it a gift from the Terra of the Elves. The Terra? I freeze in place as the tall creature crosses his arms in front of his chest, refusing to take no for an answer. His lion-like tail swishes back and forth as if taunting me to attempt to refuse his kindness. This man was the Terra, the demigod leader of the city of Fides and the chosen of the Earth I see, dude's just racking up them titles then. Interesting. I think I just accidentally saved. I have no idea how the fuck I did that. His lion-like tail... Oh! Ooh! Okay, I can scroll. And he just paid for a ridiculously overpriced item of clothing. For me. Alright. The intensity of his gaze lessened before he nodded toward the clothing on my body. Pretty things suit pretty people. I suppose you would know, wouldn't you? Fucking pretty-ass man. Consider it a party favor. You are a guest of the Dread Festival, right? I nod, and he gives me a brilliant smile. Then please, make yourself at home in our city. The words, "a million people would kill for this chance," echo in my mind, and I find myself smiling back at the demigod. Thank you. It is my duty, and incidentally, my pleasure. I find my cheeks heating up a bit at his tone. Sir! We are in public. I should be on my way. Of course. I'll be seeing you tonight, then. pick up my old clothes and my pack before bidding Kupio and the Terra the most dignified goodbye I could muster. Now, what did the way back to the embassy look like? I start retracing my steps, but quickly find myself unable to deny the itch to put words on paper over my recent encounter. Compared to the capital of the Ares Empire, the elven city of Omnis is beautiful but chaotic, ridiculously expensive. The prices for clothing here is terribly inflated. Nothing like the ready availability of reasonably Nothing like the ready availability of reasonably priced garbs back home. My thoughts then wander to the terror of the elves, to his warm smiles and his overly accommodating sentiments. Nobody had ever covered a bill for me before, purely out of kindness. I can't help but wonder what the price I'd have to pay for it in return would be. I frown and structure my thoughts on the demigod of Earth. My first impression of the terror of the elves is that he has a terrible savior complex. He seems to live in his own world. That probably seems a little closer. I've never once spotted any of our 9 generals out shopping for clothes mere hours before an event as important as the Dread Festival. Then again, if the Terra is as rich as the legends say he is, I shouldn't be surprised that he throws money around at pompous stores with ridiculously inflated price tags. The legends. How old is this guy? I feel my chest grow heavy with guilt over the words I put down. Was that the wrong choice? We've been taught to always show the strengths of our empire. Throwing mud at the reputations of others in order to do so, however, has never been my favorite thing to do. I exhale and look up from my page and quill, needing a distraction from my treacherous thoughts. It comes quickly as I do not recognize the street that I am walking on. Okay, so we got 2 more to meet. Which one is coming up next here? Multitasking is not always as easy as it seems. The marble and quartz are lost, instead replaced by simple one-floor stone buildings, decorated with all kinds of dried plants, bones, and black velvet curtains. My guess is on the Reaper-looking dude. The streets seem deserted. The air feels oppressive. Unlike the other parts of town, soft lavender and green candles lay lit around the street, as though there is a heavy darkness here that dims all other colors and needs to be warded off. Silence stretches over me in a way that has me glancing back at my shadow. I don't know why. This place reminds me of some of the worst moments in my life. The passing of my late parents, a terrible breakup with an abusive ex, near-death experience I suffered through, the loss of a friend in the yearly wars. Ooh, okay. So we get to pick our trauma. Well, there's nobody in stream for me to ask. Seriously, where the fuck is everybody? Okay, sorry. Oh, did I just lose the audio? Oh boy, that's awkward. Terrible breakup and abusive ex. You know what? I'm always a friend of near-death experiences. An unforeseen medical condition. Oh man, that's not as exciting. I was hoping for a sword. Well, I mean, medical conditions are still pretty traumatic, but also sword. An unforeseen medical condition that I had a chance not to survive. Fortunately, I recovered, but I get a shiver every time I recall it and how close it brought me to the brink. I recall the darkness as I passed out, the concerned faces around me. How weak and pathetic I felt during my recovery process. Okay, that I can relate to. Whenever I get sick, whenever I get like even just a cold, I feel so fucking weak. I hate it. It's one of the worst feelings in the world for me to get sick because even just the tiniest sickness, my nose gets clogged really, really badly and I can't breathe. I feel horrible, I feel disgusting, I feel weak and unable to do anything, and this is one of the worst feelings in the world for me. I take a deep breath and focus on the teachings of the Ares Empire, the way to fight back the demons that attempt to conquer you. I need to keep myself occupied and focus on the things at hand. I need to take everything step by step. Turn back and try to trace your steps, look for someone to guide you back. Ooh. I mean, if we look for someone, it could get us even more lost, but turning back could also do the same. I'll look for someone. Well, the street I'm currently on is empty. There surely must be someone I can ask for directions. There's buildings all over the place. Surely somebody's in. I walk around for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, taking lefts and rights, making my way through neighborhoods that look lived in, yet don't spot a single person. Haven't I already been on this street? I feel as though I'm being watched. I find myself constantly glancing around at the vacant windows and empty street corners. A cold chill climbs up my back as I reach a few doors without windows or candles. Was this elven magic or all just in my head? Was someone playing tricks on me? When I stop to readjust my pack, I feel something wet hit my forehead. Ah, shit! And I'm gonna have to light all those candles again when it stops. That's just lovely. The darkening skies up above surprise me, and I have barely a moment to blink before I'm caught in a downpour. The rain is so heavy and cold that if I don't hide somewhere quick, I'm sure I'll be sick during tonight's banquet. Shit! At this rate, my notes will be ruined. I break into a run, looking for shelter from the downpour. Well, there's a lot of arches to choose from. The only place I managed to find on such short notice is underneath a small staircase. I'm forced to squeeze in underneath, pulling my feet into my chest. I like the rain. I've always found it calming. Pitter-patter of raindrops against any surface could easily put me to sleep. I literally listen to thunderstorms in order to help me sleep. I love the smell. I love the sound of rain, and you know, being from the Pacific Northwest, the smell is incredible. In a downpour like this, it seemed as if the sky itself was crying. For the first time in my life, I found the sky's unruliness almost unfair. By force of habit, I find myself closing my eyes and listening to the sounds of raindrops as they hit the cement. I breathe in the petrichor and allow its familiar smell to calm me. Despite my feelings, I find my earlier unease evaporating, melting away with the minutes. Eee! I open my eyes to the sound of a bark, and I find a small puppy tilting its head to me. Oh my god, can we keep it? Please? Save the puppy, damn it! When I blink again, however, I find that I must have imagined it. Oh shit, we're hallucinating puppies. Love that. I am not hallucinating you! I didn't know you had 4 eyes! It kind of works, not gonna lie. Hello, sailor! What stands before me instead is a tall man dressed from head to toe in black. I swear to God, if this man turns into a puppy, I might be changing my answer for real. Like, Lion Dude was tempting. But puppies are eternal. What stands before me instead is a tall... Yeah, right with that. His 4 eyes are a startling green. Greener than the purest jadeite. Somehow he sticks out from within the gloom of the surrounding environment. Perhaps because of the lit white candle that gleams in the lantern he holds up towards me. Hi, sir! He surveys me silently, unbothered by the rain falling from the sky. He also looks like that figure that was just kind of dancing around between candles at the opening scene. I wonder if that has anything to do with anything. His gaze lingers a beat too long on my ears. What about my ears? Is it because I'm not an elf? Okay. A sound like an exasperated scoff escapes him before he moves his cape to one side. It takes me a moment to realize that he is offering to share. I do gotta say, I love like the little additional like sounds, the heavy breathing, the whistles. Just adds a little bit more immersion to the game, and I really appreciate that. Come on. Oh, gentle. Oh, is he like edgy, gentle giant dude? Like, he looks all dark and brooding, but he's really just like a super sweetheart. Oh no. Oh god. Is the green his green flags? I'm not sure how I managed to hear a voice so gentle above the downpour. Let's get you out of this rain. I should refuse. Something about strangers and danger. But also he's hot. However, this man's calm, gentle presence reassured me of my safety in a way no one else ever had. Perhaps it was magic? And did it truly matter if I was bespelled, if I managed to get to the banquet on time? With a nod, I moved quickly from beneath the cold staircase to under the unfamiliar man's cape. I'm pleased to find that it is much warmer and larger than it looks. I assume you are an ambassador of the Ares Empire? Oh my god. He is very, very fine. I will be playing this game multiple times upon full release for each of the love interests. I am just saying. Once again, I am surprised I can hear him. Something of the sort. His gaze lingers on me for a moment too long. And though he says nothing, he reaches his lantern forward, and I gather that we should move. The streets are accumulating water at such a pace that the sewage system does not seem capable of handling it. At first, I do my best to avoid the gathering puddles and streams of water carrying away dust and grime. Yeah. Though the task is difficult, and my feet should be soaked through the shoes and socks, I am surprised to find that I don't walk in the puddles. I walk over them. Holy shit, we're Jesus! As though an invisible barrier has been created between myself and the cold water accumulating on the streets. Aw, shit, he's a gentleman too! Damn it! Making it hard for me to stick with the other general dude. When I glance back at the man leading me, I notice the way the rain bounces away from him. Ask him how he's keeping you both dry. I mean, it should be pretty obvious, but we might as well strike up a conversation. The cloak's enchanted. Oh. Simple enough. I never experienced the effect of a magic item before, and I can't help but be a little awestruck at the revelation I was almost wearing one. They're pretty rare back in the Ares Empire. He tilts his head to the sky, as if attempting to gauge if it will cease raining soon. Then sighs. I apologize. Once again, it takes me a moment to catch his voice. I found how easy it is to misalarming. Misalarming? Now I'm a little confused by. Are you apologizing for the rain? Do you usually apologize to all victims you save from a downpour? I prefer the answer. It's just a bit snarky enough. He raises an eyebrow at my pathetic attempt at a joke. Okay, fine. Fuck me, I guess. Only when they're unnatural, caused by the emotional experience of one of ours. What do you mean? The puzzle pieces clicked into place. Amor's current aqua, aspect of water, had come into power 3 years ago, and he was powerful and... Okay, so different kingdom Amor, aqua, water equivalent of Terra, aspect of water. Okay. Had come into power 3 years ago, yet he was powerful enough to cause such a deluge? Do all elven aspects have the ability to affect the weather? I can feel his gaze resting on me for a brief period. No. Oh. At least not without the help of spell candles. Hey! Title drop! I raise an eyebrow at the man as he guides us into a turn that leads us out of the basic rocky building district. What are spell candles? A few seconds pass by without an answer. I wonder if the cloak almost seems to grow heavier around me. Way to preserve pure elemental magic. And the magic is released and the candle is burned? Correct. Is that why candles are strewn about this entire city? Yes, please, tell me! I spot the smallest of twitches at the corner of his mouth. Aren't you quite the astute student? Hey! Correct. I find myself smiling back at him. What? He's so soft! I love him! Fuck! A kind light them whenever they require magic they do not naturally possess. This entire city is covered in them, though. The red candles to light the fires at home and warm a room. The blue candles to summon and control water. The effect to which anyone can use these candles depends on their magical ability, of course. But I think you get the gist of it. So is he like a scholar? A teacher? The curve of his lips softened, his features, and for a split second, I find myself staring longer than is appropriate. How do the aspects impose control upon candles, then? The male beside me raises an eyebrow as the ring continues to avoid hitting his lithe features. The more I stare at him, the more I find myself at peace. His calm voice reaches me once more, and I find myself probably just as surprised at his response as he is at my question. Spell candles are a commodity we aim to make available for every household. If we applied any serious control to them, then that would be like rationing the air your people breathe. Fair enough. Why are your eyes crying, by the way? Just curious. Did you, like, carve the second set in? Or are you just, like, constantly sad? Or is it, like, the black goopy stuff on your neck? I'm just curious. I'm not sure I understand the comparison. Here we are. Yay! We're back! The male stopped suddenly and turned toward me, his tall frame towering over me as he lifted his lantern toward the entrance of the Arisian embassy. Loud percussion, the whistle of a flute, and a mandolin rang through the air, showing off that the festivities had begun. And I was late. I'm embarrassed to admit I was so focused on the intriguing man before me to notice we'd arrived. Thank you. No thank you is necessary, be assured. Well, I'm gonna say thank you anyway, so take it! He motioned for me to go ahead with his free hand, so I just nodded, turned on my heel, and walked into the embassy in a hurry. Ooh. I'm eating a chocolate chip cookie. I had it in the same bag as my lavender blueberry cookies. And I definitely put a little bit too much lavender in those cookies. I was, oh my god. It's strong. They taste good, but it is very strong. It's so strong that the flavor has now rubbed off on my chocolate chip cookie. But it's really faint. It's like a little perfume of lavender on it. It's honestly kind of pleasant. The music was much louder inside, accompanied by the smells of various sizzling meats and the bright light of hanging chandeliers. Water, earth, and death elves? No fire or air or avatar, we just go straight to fucking death. Okay. Oh, was he a death elf? Because we got the human. We've met the Terra elf. Are you really an elf if you're also a lion? And then Death Elf would have been the guy, which means that the nymph-looking dude that we have left is gonna be water, and I'm betting he's the aqua. Yeah, I big brain. Moved around in wild circular dances, dressed in such finery that I found myself thankful that the Terra had interfered on my behalf at the store earlier. Though I spot him in the room, I find that he's engaged in conversation with some senators from our empire, full goblet in hand. Ooh. Again, fucking nipple piercing. See, the fucking Zane banner, his third myth was just announced, and there was that goddamn tease who had edited in a nipple piercing, and that was all my mind could think of. Because it was kind of hot. A few paces away from him, my eyes meet the infamous crimson hues of the general. Seems to have stopped whatever he was doing to size up my outfit. Oh shit, is it good? Irritation bubbles up in my throat, and I find myself quickly pivoting towards the drinks table. I have an image in mind for what the outfit looks like too, and I'm just saying we're fucking hot, okay? A large wine fountain adorned with lit silver candles quickly catches my eye, and a polite elf pours me a goblet upon noticing my approach. I take the cup with a smile, but am momentarily distracted from drinking. I hear a series of loud gasps echoed from somewhere before a slick, tangible voice cuts through the music like a hot knife through butter. Ooh, is this love interest number 4? Who's that love interest? I told the pirate lord that if he's not willing to go to war for my love, he doesn't deserve me. And then I sank his ship to the bottom of the bay. A series of excited whispers and murmurs followed the ridiculous explanation, carrying the electric atmosphere that supports all forms of gossip mongering. Momentarily distracted, I can't help but search for whoever is the source of this ambience. Frankly, even if my sister and brother were on the marriage market, I doubt they'd be able to impress. And then again, feel free to bring it up with stepmother, dearest. I'm sure she'll be thrilled to finally get a morsel of attention. My feet move automatically as if charmed by scandal, hearing within every sentence of whoever is speaking. I find I am led into a section of the embassy floor, transformed into a lounge by large chaises, silk curtains, and burning incense. Many gorgeous elves are piled on top of comfortable pillows, lazing around in eye-catching outfits. Yet when my eyes land on the male sprawled in the dead center of this crowd, I find myself suddenly flustered. Oh, I called it. Hello, beautiful. Is that tail? Wait, is there a screen go bye-bye button? Because it looks like this guy has got a tail instead of legs. What? No, that can't be right. Everything about this man makes me want to do double and triple takes. God, no wonder he sank a boat. Dude's fucking gorgeous. The long hair glistening in the candlelight as if wet. The bright pink makeup. The outfit that I'm sure would look unseemly on anyone else in such a formal environment. Whoever he is, he commands the space behind these curtains as though he owns it. And he might as well, considering the way that hungry gazes of his entourage follow each breath he takes. No, sweetheart. No matter how much money your father offers her family as a dowry, trust me, she won't marry you. He sounds so utterly bored with the topic that I almost believe that he isn't reveling in the attention he's receiving. His large smile says otherwise. Everyone knows that marrying for love is far superior to marrying for money. He's got that part right, at least. His gaze landed on me, and his smile widened. Oh, okay, look, buddy. I know I just agreed with you. That is not an invitation, okay? Just, you're very pretty, though. Wouldn't you agree? A pool of attention was dropped upon me so suddenly that I found myself desperate to get rid of it. I don't believe in marriage. I'd rather give opinions on other people's relationships. Neutral party here. Don't involve me, please. Now I see why nobody batted an eyelash when they noticed you arriving late. Okay, you don't have to be a douche about it. You're boring. Fuck you too. I blinked, suddenly annoyed at his quick dismissal of my character. It's almost unfortunate. His heterochromic eyes slide over my form. Wait, heterochromic? I need to zoom and enhance here. Looks like light blue and then like an aquamarine? Or baby blue and green? The retort I'd planned never leaves my mouth. You're just my type. Ayo? I thought I was boring. Wasn't expecting that. Hello? Excuse me? His bold proclamation wipes the remark clean from memory, and I can only stare at him, completely dumbfounded. My cheeks flush as he spreads two fingers and... He spreads two fingers in front of his lips. What are you implying? Feel free to stop... Sir. I am shaking! Relationship that hasn't yet occurred. I'm just in a delusion that I'm going to make it happen. I swear to God. Sir! I doubt that would be appropriate. Aqua of the Elves. Thank you, sweetie. My embarrassment is quickly swept under the rug, sir. Good timing there. I was afraid of what he'd do with those fingers. Or, I mean, you know, what those fingers do. Like, dude stops insulting me for a minute. The attention of the room instead drawn to the general who'd moved in front of me. His demeanor remains as cold as always. Ah, the Shadow Master. He's given like a more cocky Raphael, not gonna lie. The beautiful man before me finally moves to stand in front of us. I still can't tell if you have legs or if you're just waddling around on a tail. I need clarification, please. I'd had an inkling that the male before me had to be influential, but had I just been propositioned by the aspect of water? Yes. Yes, you were. This has been quite the day. My brain blanched as I pondered how to put that down in my journal. Oh my. I've heard a lot about you. Yako did a quick circle around the general, eyeing him with unabashed curiosity. Getting the horns, though. The man without a heart, was it? Care to dispel that rumor? Oh my, okay. Okay. Gonna do a little tango here? Ignoring the bold flirtation the demigod before him, the general's crimson eyes glanced in my direction briefly. I ask you to refrain from distracting our balefire-mandated political journalist from doing her job. I find myself stiffening upon hearing the mention of the Ares Empire's grand capital. Aqua's attention slid over me again, lingering on the authorized notebook I was given to put my notes down. I make no promises. Oh my... Fuck me, dude. Wait a minute! No! Okay, get rid of the horns, get rid of the fins, make him white, and I swear to God that's fucking Alucard. Yo! No! I'm gonna need somebody to make that edit for me, please. I swear, from this angle, dude looks just like fucking Alucard, and it's changing my entire perspective now. God damn it. You... It's a festival, General. Relax. He waved an amphibious hand dismissively. In fact... He raised his voice in a way that carries his words around the room. I propose a toast. Another goblet of wine is pushed into my hand by a servant so quickly that I suspect the Aqua of Elves has a habit of making toasts. It's gonna get us all fucking drunk. Though the room is buzzing with excitement, it is quiet enough to hear a pin drop. Beside me, I notice the general giving Aqua a withering glare. Oh, it's okay, Pookie. It'll be alright. To the Ares Empire, who has stood behind us thousands of winters. He raised his silver goblet into the air. May our festival once again nourish the millennium-old alliance between our two nations, so that we may stand together against the coming horrors anew in 8 months. What's happening in 8 months? Prost! I blink as the word is echoed around the room, and everyone erupts in cheers before drinking from their cups. I'm gonna imitate drinking. I think I'm good. This seems like a need to stay sober event. I press the goblet to my lips, but make no effort to part them. Whatever is in this wine smells like the sea. I pull the cup back to stare at its contents, noting that what was inside looked like a typical red wine. What sort of disaster took place to make such a lovely drink smell like seaweed? Did he bathe in the fucking wine? I could see him doing that. It seems I am alone in my confusion, however. The festivities around me have resumed in full force, with the swell of a flute leading most elves that were gathered around Aqua into an unfamiliar folk dance. They bounce around the room in couples, laughing and dragging the occasional senator into their steps. It's wild and lively, antithetical in the structured festivals we held back in Balefire. It's an acquired taste. The wine, I mean. Surf grape, they call it in Amor. Terra! Natura! Sorry. A familiar voice comes from behind me as I turn. I come face to face with the giant frame of the elves Terra. Long time no see, princess. 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 Princess! Okay. I'm intrigued. It's good to see you as well, Terra. Planning to take Aqua up on his offer? I'm good. It takes me a second to clue into what he's asking. It seems word travels faster than wine at the Elven capital, especially when he just says it out loud. I will be doing my job. Thought so. Part of me wanted to ask him when he met, considering that smile, but I find my attention occupied by Aqua. Wait, what's his real name? Is it just Aqua, or...? He led a complex folk dance with easy confidence, his long hair swaying behind him, a mesmerizing head of the revelry. Our stoic general followed through the motions beside him, as though he's done this many times before. I'm gonna need that animated, please. Devs, take notes. Please? Pretty please? I love you. He looks like he'd have more fun cleaning bird shit. I stifle a laugh behind a hand and glance over the shrugging demigod. Am I wrong, though? I mean, no? I can't help the smile that cracks my well-structured mask of professionalism. I don't have to do anything more to earn myself a pleased expression from the elven demigod. His gaze shifts behind me, and I follow it to a lone figure leaning against a wall beside the embassy's entrance. Is it my friend from earlier? Ha! No! Fuck! He's got ears. He's the puppy, isn't he? Oh! You're making this hard for me to choose. I don't appreciate it. Stop! My guide from earlier. With his hood down, I'm starting to see a pair of long lupine ears shifting on top of his head. Mors Mortis, the aspect of death, the last demigod of the waking elves. He's watching the dance unfolding around the embassy floor, but seems to be restraining himself from joining in. I just shoved a big piece of cookie in my mouth. Give me a second. Terra nudges me with his elbow. We could invite him to a dance, you know. I'm startled by the suggestion. You know the steps, don't you? I nod slowly. Yeah, but why me? Not that I'm opposed, but I wouldn't be allowed on this job if I didn't. Well, what are you waiting for? I blink at Terra's words, suddenly feeling encouraged to try something new. It could be a great feature to put into the journalistic piece when I get home. Oh! Okay. I know as I was going for the general, but given the circumstances, just a little flower out of it, you know, get to know him a little bit better. I shift back to the demigod of death, who stands near the front entrance of the embassy's hall, cup of wine in hand. He strays from the rest, enjoying his bubble of serene solitude as he instead observes the descending chaos, content to be exempt from it. Okay, I need to turn my fan on. Hold on a second. Emboldened by the Terra's words, I politely excuse myself from my time with the leader of the Elven Faith and move to join Mors Mortis in his reclusive corner. His gaze shifts to me briefly, noting my approach before returning to the wild dances happening around us. Shouting, hopping, twirling, jumping, kissing, touching, drinking. Sounds like a right old party! The Aqua has grabbed our general, leading him through the complicated steps of a local dance that he's keeping up with perfectly. Okay, interesting. The visible vexation on his face, however, makes me consider the existence of karma. I can't help but smile as I reach the demigod of death and lean on the wall beside him. You're not joining them? His eyes flit to me, and then back to the craze up ahead. Dancing is not something I've ever had much of a talent for. And yet you enjoy watching it? It is verification of being alive. Beautiful in its simplicity and simultaneously its complexity. I tilt my head and turn my attention fully to the scene before me as it unfolds. The Mors Mortis of the elves was the oldest of the elven aspects, a frightening monster with sharp teeth and claws capable of plucking a person's soul right from their chest. He was perhaps the most feared ally we had, a folktale the parents told their kids when they didn't want to go to bed, the sleepless wolven demigod who ate the naughty children when they wandered into dark forests at night. And these men and women, politicians are like the stars. They burn beautifully when they're far away. Interesting to observe, but not to encounter. Makes a good point. His plain observation surprises me, and though I lack the courage to verbally or visibly agree with him in a room where doing either would be treason, I feel that my silence tells him enough. The beat of the music continues, and the cello swells with emotion as I watch the Terra join into the dance, leading a long, winding column of his own with a smile on his face. Aww. He is like the sun, a stark contrast to the school displeasure of our general and the mischievous expression of the Aqua. What about you? Why aren't you joining them? You know what? I'm not gonna force him after that, so we'll just thank him. Actually, I wanted to thank you for earlier. Thank me? For saving me from the rain when I got lost? It was kind of you. Anyone else would have done the same? Well, that sure as fuck isn't true! I can list the names of quite a few people who wouldn't, several of them drinking merrily in this room, but I resist. Instead, I simply shake my head. One person's kindness can be a second chance at life for another. Doing the right thing shouldn't be as complex as it's made out to be. And yet, it still sadly is. You would have caught a cold if I let you remain in the freezing rain. The decision was simple. Well, thank you nonetheless. He paused before giving me a small, stiff nod. Oh, hey, all three together now. Hello. A sudden surge of the beat turned my eyes to the center of the embassy's main hall, where the aspects of earth and water had clashed, both vying for the center of the dance floor. Oh my. The general, whose fingers were still intertwined with Aqua's, oh my, regarded the aspect of water as though he was seconds from killing him. Oh my. I'd watch that. The stomping of feet, clinking of cups, and roaming of hands, the smell of expensive perfumes met with that of sizzling meats cooked traditionally as kebab. At the same time, it reminded me of home, while also letting me experience something entirely different. It made me want to close my eyes, lean into the beat like everyone else. As the chaos of the festivities raged around me, and I turned to once again face Mors Mortis. A question on my lips. I watched as his eyes Oh my. I watched as his eyes widened and he pulled me to his side without warning as a stray glass of wine smashed into the wall where I just stood. What the fuck? I'm just standing here, okay? Its owner, an earthen elf with a sandy skin tone, laughed drunkenly, perhaps after doing a few twirls too many in the current dance. Her eyes, the color of bright amethyst, turned to me, and what I assumed was going to be an apology turned into wide eyes, quivering lips, and a deep bow. Sucker! I'm here, the most powerful person in the room! Fear me! She said something in Elvish, then turned on her heels and ran out of the embassy's open doors, into the night, leaving me dumbfounded. At least she was considerate enough not to disturb the rest of the guests by screaming. She said she apologizes for the glass. I turned to Mors Mortis, whose nonchalant tone was betrayed by the scowl on his lips. Ooh. Protective? Thank you. It is of no consequence. He looks so sad. No. Baby, why are you sad? No. Honey. A series of merry cheers erupts in the center of the hall, the long song having come to an end. I find myself uninterested in the winner of its surreptitious competition. Of course, nobody else gives a shit. Yami Meredith. Hello, Lily. How are you liking the game so far? Hi. I am fucking loving it. I can't decide which character I love more, and that is causing some serious complications with my feelings. But it is fun. I like it. Yada 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 yada. The man before me holds my gaze instead. I'm fascinated by what someone so seemingly gentle had done in seconds to summon forth such primal fear from his subject. But if Mors Mortis senses the millions of questions on my tongue, he ignores them, instead reaching out toward me and tugging something out of my hair. His dark fingers pull away. I catch a 6th eye tattooed on the back of his hand. Yep. A bit of glass got on you. I really want to like the General more. But he's so soft and cute and I love him. God damn it. Again, I'm going to have to play this game multiple times. It's just a fact at this point. I gots to. He shows me a small shard between his fingers. I got literally like the two spectrums of my type. I have the soft, gentle, yet, muscular guy. And then I have Vladimir. Dark, dangerous, edgy as fuck, wants nothing to do with me. God. Something that wouldn't have happened had our Balefire mandated journalists been doing their job recording the happenings rather than partaking in them. How the fuck else do you want me to record it if I don't experience it? Come on, dude. The general cuts into the conversation with the glare in my direction that gives me goosebumps. Okay, I'm sorry. I believe you and I have different definitions of the term partaking, General. Unlike me, Mors Mortis seems completely unaffected by the Shadow Master's presence. Your journalist was in fact doing their job very well. It is the fault of our people that she almost got injured. The general scoffed, his gaze shifting to me again, his eyes checking what I could only assume was the glass shard in my hair. Any journalist serious about their job would already be resting. Huh? Resting? What do you mean? I'm not supposed to be here doing my job? Oh shit, whoops. Smacked my mic. My bad. The aspect of Death's gaze shifts to me, as if to gauge something, before he places a hand on his toned chest. Can I place my hand on his toned chest? Just a small touch? Just a little, respectfully? Please? Chest pillows, please? His head dipped into a curt bow, a soft smile on his lips. Then may your rest be tranquil, and your spirit feel serene under Nosh's watchful gaze, Lily. Wait, what? I thought Natura was the Terra. Is that a typo? I think that might be a typo. Whoopsies. I'm just thank you, Mors Mortis. As he rises, I offer both men a small, bright smile. If you'll excuse me. The journal gives me a curt, dismissive nod. Mors Mortis, on the other hand, seems to be looking past me. I take it as permission to leave. It is halfway out of the room that I realize I never actually had the chance to tell the aspect of death my name. Oh. Magic. Ooh, this is a nice room. I quickly reach my room. The inside is small but luxuriously furnished, showing off what I already knew, that the Ares Empire spared no expense for its diplomats. I find myself glaring at the unnecessary mahogany desk, the silk robe hanging from my dresses, at the comfortable bed warmed by the red candle lit beside it. The redundant opulence of the ensuite bathroom with the heated floors and the scented soaps. I sigh as I sink into my bed, a journal in hand. Oh, that sounds fantastic. Pushing my annoyance aside, my thoughts drift, taking me through the day. So far, I find Omnis to be... oh, absolutely fucking charming! And mysterious! But also charming. But also grand... I don't know, I want to say either mysterious or charming. I'm gonna go with charming. The interconnectedness of all elven races in Omnis is reminiscent of our Balefire. There is an inherent kindness that perhaps stems from the excitement over the festivities. It is chaotic, wild, and in some ways similar to our holidays back home. Or the memories of hundreds of lost ones spurs on a camaraderie between the waking elves and the Arisians. I take a moment to ponder... wait, is there a difference as to why they're called the waking elves? Are there, like, sleeping elves? Is it just meant to, like, just differentiate between alive and dead? Curious. I take a moment to ponder how I feel after the long day I've had and find that my latest hours stick out as a journey of emotions. Agreeing to come here had been a risk, but maybe, just maybe, the trouble would be worth it. Next, I find myself focusing on the welcome festivities I'd just been a part of. They were ridiculously chaotic, political, terribly exciting. They were quite a special experience. I mean, that's definitely one way to describe it. The winters our Eastern continent experience are merely myths to the rest of the known world. Are mere myths. They are harsh, filled with horrors of mind and body. We lose too many good people to these wars every year. And yet, within the Arisian Embassy of Omnis, the evening before the Dread Festival, we are welcomed with open arms by our elven comrades in arms. We find hope in breaking bread and sharing wine. We smile, laugh, and choose to live on. Persist despite the abominations of our recent memories. It was a heartwarming sight of an alliance forged over millennia of joint suffering. I find myself smiling when I think of the calm and wise Mors Mortis is the oldest waking elven aspect. As the demigod of death and the ruler of Spes, City of Hope, he is a walking oxymoron, both renowned and feared with his own kind's capital city. He is the monster our parents told us about when we were young, the big bad wolf that ate the naughty kids. He who never sleeps and can pluck souls from bodies with a simple touch. There is, however, a certain unexpected peace one can find when being near what they fear most. You can find out the boogeyman is just a man. Perhaps the weeks of travel are finally getting to me. I put away my journal and try to get some rest. To survive in the Ares Empire, you need to love it. Or you need to be very good at pretending to do so. The delegation was ready to depart to the Central Plaza at 7:30 a.m. sharp. Okay, thank you, Steam. I didn't need that, but thank you anyways. Systemized like apothecary bottles, not a single soul dared to be laid under the general's scrutiny. As if yesterday's chaotic revelry was a dream we'd all conjured up in our sleep. Though the outfit on my body was proof enough, considering I had nothing else decent to wear. The elven diplomats meant to escort us to the location of the Dread Festival's opening ceremony arrived at exactly 7:35. The Shadow Master greeted them, and after finishing the steaming contents of his cup, bid they lead the way. I soon found myself uncertain as to why all of this posturing was necessary. The Central Plaza of Omnis is exactly a 3-minute walk from the embassy. Oh, this thing. Okay, this is very much giving Roman designs here. At least as best as I can tell. It's giving Ridacita. You know? But, like, Septimon Ridacita. Although we are early to the ceremony, this open space is packed with elves of various elemental inclinations and ages. 7 large stone coffins held together with heavy locks and star mail chains lay arranged in a neat line in the heart of the square. Coffins. A giant cauldron of bubbling wax levitates peacefully above each one, and I quickly spot the 7 lit silver candles held together by Mors Mortis. Though Terra and Aqua are nowhere to be found, the aspect of death seems to personally be attending to the festival's preparation. He appears calm as he runs his fingers over the flames of the braziers, heating the cauldrons, earning excited whispers from the gathering elves and senators. I find myself wondering if it hurts, or if he's touched fire so many times he's grown numb to it. For a second, his eyes meet mine across the field as our delegation steps forward to our designated areas. Surprise skips over his features like a pebble before sinking underneath the perfectly constructed political smile he'd offer our delegation. I will love you. I will show you kindness and care and love. God damn it. He's feared. Has he ever known it? My poor baby! Or so I expected. Instead, his expression remains the same as he offers us a cool, calculated bow. That seems about right. Welcome, esteemed general and delegates of the Ares Empire, to this year's Dread Festival opening. Thank you, Aspect of Death, for hosting us again this year. The Shadow Master returns the sentiment with a curt bow of his own. What a lukewarm exchange. I'm not certain exactly what has happened between these two, but I do not have any time to dwell on it, for Aqua and Terra's arrival breaks the tension and turns it into chaos. It is as if wherever these two appear, the location must turn into a stage set for a spectacle. A stark contrast to the elves' indifference towards Mors Mortis and quiet curiosity about the general. Hey! Hello! Okay, you know what? I'm diving hard and deep into Mors Mortis. We'll get the general the next time around. I find my gaze lingering on Mors. I gotsta. The aspect of death stood motionless beside our delegation as he waited for his compatriots to join us. His side profile reminded me of a statue, his lithe form carved from decades of decisions. Only his eyes gave away signs of life. His gaze shifted through the crowd, landing on his fellow aspects before he blinked, an action so natural that looked foreign on him, as though he did it for the benefit of the living around him. Esteemed guests of the Empire, allow us to once again welcome you to our lands as we commemorate the end of another winter. Terra moved to stand beside the now quiet Mors Mortis. There is no greater honor for us and our people to call you and yours by the term allies. For every time we've called, you have answered, and whenever you've been in need, we've delivered. It is through good that we stave off evil. Through your gods and ours. Listening to the eloquence of the aspect of Earth, I am quickly reminded that as the leader of the Elven City of Faith, Terra also holds the head of all Elfic religions. Huh. Okay. Aqua speaks next, a hand on his heart. Our bond has lasted for millennia, a marriage against darkness. This commitment, immortalized when we sealed away the 7 Scions. Oh, fuck, they're gonna escape. Will continue to hold again today. On this first dawn of the Dread Festival, we vow to once again keep them at bay. His voice pulls me towards him, like a sailor to a siren, but it is Mors Mortis' tone that brings me back. That makes me stop and listen. From flesh to wax, from wax to life. Every year, the eternal war takes from us those we hold dear. With what is left of them, we seal away chaos, anger, harm, loneliness, sorrow, hunger, and plague, and take a breath until next winter. For it is through faith that we hold the lines, through love that we stand united, and through hope that we keep fighting. Let those we love shield us once more from the dangers we've forgotten. Breathe in and take your time to pray. Terra's command echoes through the air, rendering thousands of elves gathered on their knees. As per the ritual, our delegation is the first to walk up to the braziers of bubbling wax and silently thank those who gave their lives for ours. The journal goes first, murmuring thank yous in both our language and that of the elves. Though I can't see his face, I find his tone to be gentler than any I'd heard from him before. I go last from our delegation. I think about those I've lost over the years to this war. It'd be different. A deep pain grips me. I know it stems from the emptiness of what was once, but is now no more. As I reach the first cauldron, I thank the people and elves who gave their lives for our peace in both languages. Then I move on to the next cauldron and do the same, and the next, and the next, and the next. It is considered a great honor to be able to come this close to the dead again. Once our delegation has finished paying our respects, the elven aspects follow. I appreciate how they're over here just adding in their own kind of like religious aspect. It definitely adds more to it all. There's a clear hierarchy here with their religion. You got the Terras, you got the actual gods and demigods, their own ritualistic experiences with death. It's a lot of detail that not many would go for. The three move in perfect tandem, and by the time Mors Mortis has finished, the rest of the elven population in Omnis is already in silent tears. Poor Mors Mortis orders after a moment of silence. The 7 cauldrons obey Mors Mortis' commands, slowly moving to tip over. Wax begins hitting the coffins one by one, resealing them under the watchful eyes of the elven aspects, their people, and our delegation. Okay. So even in death, they're continuing to just guard each other. Get down! Wait, what? The words shout through the silence. Ah, shit! I barely have time to process the familiar voice before the ground underneath my feet gives. Oh no, for a second I think I am blind. The world has turned pitch black. I think I smell something burning. Fuck, 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 fuck. Then, daylight breaks through, bringing back my sense of sight. My knees are bleeding. Oh, ow, ow, no. I blink as I try to get my bearings, but it's as though sound has ceased to function. Fuck. I make out that some of the senators lay beside me, cowering. Stay low for now. Don't get up yet. The general is kneeling beside me, a knife in his hand. His eyes wander around our delegation, coolly checking for everyone's presence and safety. At least until a shout cuts apart my uncertainty with a new horrifying discovery. The goddess of chaos has escaped! Oh, shit. Wait, me? I didn't do shit. My eyes shoot in the direction of the pale marble coffin, the last one to be sealed. Now empty. Shit. Oh, boy. Wait, so there's chaos. I'm sure they probably listed the others, and I just don't remember. I hear murmurs and whispers from the gathered elven crowds. The words are undecipherable until the general's crimson gaze sweeps towards the onlookers, so that can only be described as wild fury. They finally decide to conquer us too! Betrayers! Scoundrels! My blood chills as I realize that the only possible culprits could be those close enough to the cauldrons. Oh no. Oh shit! The realization seems to dawn upon the aspects at the same time because all three of them turn to face us. It wasn't me, I swear to fuck! The words "seize them" suddenly sound like a phrase from a banned horror novel. Oh no 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 no. Wait, why are you all glaring at me? No! You're supposed to like me! Shit! The elven crowds are dispersed and told to return to their homes under curfew. Meanwhile, we are roughly pulled to a standing position in front of the aspects. While Terra and Aqua's expressions turn unreadable, Mortis Mortis looks dangerously calm. General, give us one reason why we mustn't lynch your delegation and send you back to the— Bree! Back to the Emperor to announce the dissolution of our alliance. You have no proof. I find this man's ability to remain an egotistical bastard even when standing before the three demigods almost attractive. Almost. Did nobody else stand close enough to the braziers in order to tamper with them? The general falls silent. I realize exactly what he's saying. Oh, it was one of you! I see Mors Mortis' expression turn murderous as he reaches the same conclusion. My thoughts suddenly dim as a primal existential fear of death sinks its claws into my back. How dare! Let's hold an investigation then! Aqua's smile is nonchalant, but something in his tone gives me pause. Mors Mortis' eyes narrow on the demigod of water. Everyone present is a suspect. I don't know why the three unitary demigods suddenly look so divided. Terra, much to my surprise, is frowning, his tail flicking around, his arms crossed in front of his chest. Very well. Mors Mortis' four jade eyes wander between the members of our delegation and the surrounding guards before landing on the general. Name your investigator, Shadow Master. You get one and only one. Oh, well, I know where this is heading. Lily. What? I jumped to my feet as all eyes turned towards me. What? Despite my protest, none of the aspects argued the choice. Motherfuckers. Aqua's smile widens as I find myself looking away, needing to escape all this attention. The festival lasts 7 days. This is how long you have to get your truth. Wars, I thought we were buddies! The unspoken "if you fail" remains a silent implication that hangs over my head like a guillotine for the next week. Day 1. Shit, man. Okay. I return to my room and find that my fingers are gripping my journal so hard they're shaking. I have to get it together, desperately. I can sense how overwhelmed I am with fear. Had it been winter, I likely would have already turned into some mindless ghoul and fallen prey to the sword of a soldier. I take in a deep breath, then exhale. I repeat these simple motions several times until my brain has enough oxygen to function again as it should. Who do I investigate? Okay, shit. This is gonna affect my relationship with either one. Do you know what? Right now, I can trust Aqua the least. Aqua! I wasn't sure if it was because Mors Mortis had called everyone present a suspect, but I found myself diligently studying Aqua as he sat on a chair in front of my work desk. A very ornate chair that hadn't been there until right before I asked with the aspect of water to stop by for questioning. It was carved of some expensive wood, packed with comfortable cushions and sparkled with pearls of various colors and sizes. A perfect seat for the man who lounged on top of it, as if he was king of the world. Legs crossed, chin propped up on one hand, and on one hand, he offered me a lazy smile that made something in my chest twist. He was perhaps the most beautiful man I'd ever seen. It was annoying to no end. Motherfucker. Should I summon a painter? You seem so fond of staring. My cheeks flushed and I cleared my throat. Ugh. Glancing down at my journal, I found it logical I started off by asking him the following questions. Did you notice anything unusual happening in the hours before the incident? Why were you late on the morning of the incident? Who do you think is responsible for the incident? That's a pointless question. Why were you late? Aqua scoffed at my question. I am late only if you go by the words of Mors Mortis. If anyone else had organized the Dread Festival this year, they wouldn't have said a word. Others can organize the festival? Of course. It is a rotating duty between all aspects. It just so happened that this year the pleasure fell on Mors Mortis' shoulders. You didn't answer my previous question. The aspect of water looked up at me through thick lashes. At the gathering, I found rather pleasant company that detained me until morning. Okay. Not gonna read between the lines much there. Oh. Can that company corroborate your story? Of course. For one reason or another, I respect his choice to keep that card close to his chest. I'll ask for it later if necessary. You notice anything unusual happening? Not really. I was too busy sleeping off a hangover. After a long night of enjoying the revelry I helped your embassy throw, I thought you were with somebody. His voice dipped into a softer, more melodic tone. It truly was a shame you couldn't stay. How long did you stay? I don't know. I was too busy having fun to check the clock. I had the urge to roll my eyes. At least until 1 a.m., I think. He stifled a yawn to the palm of his clawed hand. That was a start. Who do you think is responsible for the incident? Should I be taking notes right now? I just thought about that. Aqua raises an eyebrow at my question. If I was thrown in at the deep end, I wouldn't go about attracting the attention of the sharks. Are you threatening me? He laughed as though I'd asked him something terribly amusing. His different colored eyes glittered like sea glass. You Parisians are always looking for a reason for an argument or a fight. Do you know a lot of Parisians? A few. And that's enough to draw up such conclusions? Uh-huh. Perhaps. These not good. Do my best not to roll my eyes. I will repeat myself. Who do you think is just? Do you know of anyone who might benefit from freeing a dangerous ghost from a 2,000-year slumber? Let's do that. Including our enemies. I grit my teeth at his nonchalant yawn. Hey, we're suffering here too, asshole. I haven't sensed any dangerous emotions from anyone, if that's what you're asking me. I find myself uncertain of what to put down on the paper in front of me. I'm sorry, you can sense emotions? My fellow Oh, that wasn't a name typo! Oh, Naturus is another, like, label, another term. Okay. Got it. Understanding achieved. My fellow Naturas call it empathy. Partially comes with the territory following the Elven throne in the city of Amor. Do you get powers from ruling a city? In return for what? Spreading peace, harmony, and love, of course. Okay, magical girl. Maybe you let me help you explore that too at some point. Clearly, you need it more than anyone else around the festival. Fuck off! I enjoy his character. Don't enjoy the attitude. I roll my eyes as my cheeks flush at his blatant proposition. Oh, I took that to mean that he's pointing out that I'm single, not... Oh. This is what happens when you're ace, guys. That was all very helpful. Thank you. Did you find that? I appreciate I appreciate the attempt at lengthening our time together, investigator. I am a busy man. I find myself gaping at him. What? The grin he gives me as he makes to get up is downright infuriating. Get the fuck out. I should have a free time slot for you after 5 hours if you wish to continue your disquisition. You can't just... But he can. He proves that point by making his way out of the door to my small room before I can finish my sentence. I hope you guys can hear me all right. Since nobody has, like, come in, I can't tell if the music's too loud. Oh, I investigate all of them. Okay. I'm gonna... I'll turn that down a little bit more. Hopefully that'll make things a little bit better. I'll be right back. Give me a second. God, I really need to restock my tea supply. Let me get some honey. Okay. Oh, I might as well just go down the list. Terra. I tap my pen against the desk as I try to structure a plan. I'm a political journalist, not a detective. I should be reporting on the strong relationship between the Ares Empire and the Quel'Aguilar. I should be watching the general gallivanting alongside the aspects, drinking wine, smiling politely, and just writing. Instead, I somehow find myself spearheading an investigation that could not only spark a war between two nations, but also result in the end of my life. I feel the nerves in my stomach like worms, eating me from the inside out. Should have skipped breakfast at this rate. And at this rate, I might skip dinner. You alright? You look like you want to murder your journal. Which I do not recommend, by the way. It looks like a nice journal. There he is! Hi, buddy! I find myself torn from my thoughts by a voice I'm quickly growing acquainted with. Its owner leans against the open doorway, strong arms crossed in front of his chest. I knocked several times, but you didn't respond, so I let myself in. It took me a moment to realize that he was waiting for me to respond to his earlier inquiry. Really? He hums, his eyes studying me briefly. His gaze is piercing, as though he could see through every little lie. Please, feel free to take a seat. I motioned to the chair in front of my desk and watched Chera's gaze flick briefly to it before moving back to me with a raised eyebrow. I don't mean to be disrespectful to your embassy's choice of furniture in saying this, but if I were to put my full weight into that seat, I fear it won't hold another person ever again. Shit, how fucking big is this guy? And yes, I do mean that in multiple ways. And while I have no issue paying for those damages, I think I'd rather spare your ambassadors the embarrassment. A giggle escapes me as I process his words. Imagining the present ambassadors rushing over to apologize to the elves' Terra for the inadequate seating arrangements sounded like something of a local comedy skit. Alright then. On to the topic at hand. Okay. Did you notice anything unusual? No, I was preoccupied. Any particular reason? He chuckled, and the sound inexplicably takes the load off my shoulders. Some demigod or enchantment, perhaps? I was releasing some pent-up... How? Through exercise? With Aqua? You're the one who Aqua was smashing earlier? Excuse me? It takes me great effort for me to keep my pen moving against the paper, but the writing turns into an unintelligible scrawl as his words sink in. Excuse me? His expression is proof enough that he isn't teasing me? His lips set to a firm line, his muscular arms crossed in front of his chest. After a few moments when I'm certain my voice and expression are schooled, I continue the line of questioning. And how long were you together for that evening? Until morning. Could you give me the exact hours? His tail twitches from behind him, his eyes flickering away from me as he attempts to recall the information I need. Oh. I made sure to stay at the embassy as long as it was polite, which was... Your general vanished at around 3 a.m. I followed his lead. Was Aqua still there? Because Aqua said that he left at around 1. I nod my head, a frown on my lips at the mention of my strict superior. Aqua left with you? He nods, and I unwittingly find myself following the movement of his short braids over his chest. Wait. Yeah, no, that doesn't align because Aqua said that he left at 1. And you were with Aqua until you arrived at the scene of the crime? Terra cocks an amused eyebrow at my choice of terminology. For the most part, investigator. Lines already are not aligning. I gave him a look that demands further clarification. Well, now I just feel like I'm infringing upon their relationship. My bad. I mean, unless they're into that, in which case, like, okay. We separate for a shower and a change of clothes at around 6 a.m. I put that down word for word and move on with my other queries. Okay, so that aligns. Why were you late on the morning of the incident? Some elven business came up. Right before the beginning of the festival? When you live as long as I do, investigator, you come to realize that there's 2 kinds of business. There's the business you can put off, and the business you can't. And usually if you don't handle the first, it becomes the second. I try not to make that mistake. That's very organized of you. I find myself smiling at his explanation. Oh my god, them pearly whites! Holy shit! The compliment comes out accidentally, and it earns me a bright grin. Thank you! His tone softens slightly. A low, warm rumble compared to his usual demanding voice. I almost find it difficult to focus on the work at hand. Can you tell me more about the elven business that made you late? When the smile on the Earth aspect's face doesn't shift, his tail bristles. I've seen enough small cats to know what that means. No. Alarm bells go off in my head at the sudden shift in aura. The word rings between us in a cool, steely tone. I've hit a wall with this line of questioning. Perhaps I realize that's simply best I don't push it for now. Alright, my apologies. Better move on to another question quickly. Who do you think is responsible? The Terra's eyes narrow at my question, his lips pursing into a scowl. Whoever they are, they couldn't have escaped far. I put Omnis in a lockdown. No one can leave or enter. That wasn't my question. His eyes, like molten gold, slid to me, and for a split second, I could imagine what it was like to be this man's enemy. To stand against a man who could move a mountain, literally. I'm just trying to do my job that you guys put on me, okay? Don't go giving me this steely-eyed look now. Someone or something that wishes to weaken us, to drive fear into the hearts of our people. And when I find them, I will tear them to pieces with my bare... Shit, I thought you were the Sunshine character. And let them rot on the altar of celebration until the crows have picked the meat clean from the remains and the Barretts have dissolved the bones with their shit. So much for a golden retriever. It takes me a moment to close my mouth and remember to write this down. Silence stretches out between us, the only sound of ink on paper until I look up at the demigod before me, another question in mind. Can a lockdown hold a child of evil? Is there any chance that one of yours betrayed you? What could anyone hope to gain from ruining the ritual? Can a lockdown? The goddess of chaos, Varvare, has already proven her domain through escaping her seal. The way we can balance chaos is through order. I do that best. You think you'd stave off her corruption by simply making your people follow your demands? Curfew, increased security, tracking spells. If there's anyone who can catch a source of havoc and neutralize it, then that will be me. Cocky. I simply have faith in myself. Okay, well, yeah, I mean, sure, whatever. He picks a puff of who knows what off his bracers, examining it unceremoniously before flicking it into the small, empty bin beside my door. Is that draconic leather? Okay, so dragons exist. A gift from your Mercuzio after I ripped the Ignis's arm off a few years ago. The Ignis? The wound lessened the burden on your northern border significantly, or so I've been told. Mercuzio, the aegis of the Ares Empire, the strongest male dragon. Oh, okay, so we're a land of dragons. He ruled his territory of Eastern Dragonfang with an iron fist. His name usually inspires fear and awe within me. I didn't recognize those feelings stirring now. The Terra's easygoing first-name basis approach had shocked me into stupor. A knock sounded on the door, breaking us away from our session. The Terra's eyes moved from the door to me. His lips pursed as he stepped away from it. For a man so famous for his control, he sure had no problem giving it away. I'd half expected him to answer before I blinked. Come in. The door creaks open, and I find myself looking at a handsome, lithe silver-haired elf who offers the Terra a low bow. Allura. You are needed in the square to help set up the Fire Dancing Festival, Natura. Fire dancing, you! I've seen fire dancing, it's pretty cool. Of course, I'll be right there. How they don't burn themselves is incredible. I mean, granted, you practice a lot, obviously. Though I am annoyed by the interruption, I nod my head when Terra's gaze returns to me. I will see you at fire dancing then, investigator. Do you have appropriate clothes for this event? Why are you gonna buy me more? I found myself caught off guard by the question. I'll have some sent to your room before tonight then. Aw, but thank you. Are you always buying strangers whole new wardrobes? Usually only those that ask nicely. I mean, I didn't technically ask. His grin stirs in me something fierce. Natura! I'm coming, Allura! He's out of the door before I can poke at his words. I mean, my brain scrambled with information and my stomach with warmth. Oh, girl, get a handle! As I'm looking down at my notes from the first 2 sessions, churning the new information in my brain, the door to my room swings open with such violence that I reach for the dagger underneath the desk. I didn't select you yet. For a second, the shadows grow deeper, darker. I wonder if they moved on their own before the general marches into my room unannounced. Hi, General! With 4 quick strides of his long legs, he reached my desk, his tall form blocking out the rays of sun from the nearby window like a storm cloud. Hi! Can I help you? I wasn't ready for you yet. A thick stack of papers is deposited unceremoniously onto my desk. It takes everything within me not to wince as I notice the smudges of various shades of red and brown along the inky scrawl upon them. Blood? I put the dagger back in its desk sheath and make up to get up and bow, but he raises a hand to stop me. Oh. I will not stay. I have taken up the task of personally questioning everyone from our delegation who prayed in front of the wax this morning. I feel the blood drain from my... Oh, did he torture? Oh, no. I feel the blood drain from my face as my eyes flip between him and the stacks of paper before me. I clear my throat to help find my voice. And did you find anything of note? His eyes narrowed with unfiltered annoyance. No. He turns around, heading for the door just as abruptly as he'd entered through it. Each step increasing the anxiety setting on my shoulders. Wait! It's your turn next, bitch! Shadow Master, with all due respect, I would also like to ask you a few questions. My breathing halts the moment his footsteps do. Oh, I'm fucked. I remind myself to count to 10, to move, to show signs of life as he levels me with one of his famous glares and the shadows in the room darken. Consider this 10 minutes of my time charity for a lost cause. Fuck you! God, I'm saying a lot of fuck yous to these characters, and not in the way I want to mean them. My breathing resumes the huff, and I'm quickly reminded of my dislike for the disrespect of the ruling generals of Ares. Annoyance washes over my fear, steadying me as I flip open a new page on my journal. You've been to the Dread Festival before. Did you notice anything different in its setup this time around? The elves knew Aqua through the welcoming party yesterday night. He reeks of trouble. I raise my eyebrow at the observation as I scribble the pointless answer down. Perhaps the Shadow Master used salty wine and trouble interchangeably. I wouldn't be surprised considering the stick up his ass. Damn. Could you elaborate? He's cocky and impulsive, an attention seeker with zero regard for the consequence of his actions. Could it be that he was still bothered by the way the Aqua flirted with him in front of everyone? Ooh. Snap. I pushed the thought down, ignoring the urge to smirk. Oh my god, are we in a polyamory? We're in a polyamory, aren't we? The current Aqua has been present and active for the 2 previous Dread Festivals as well, but no incidents occurred then. I point out, my tone professional, controlled, earning me a scowl from the man before me. The Shadow Master opens his mouth, then seems to think better of what he wants to say and closes it, glancing pointedly at the clock on my desk instead. I do my best to ignore the way this annoys me. Who do you think is responsible? The seals placed upon the children of evil are of ancient, complicated magic. This rules all mortal simpletons from our delegation out of the list of culprits, at the very least. I pursed my lips, ignoring the stab this asshole just lightheartedly made at my intelligence as he keeps talking. Fuck you! Whether it's conscious betrayal or a hand guided by the anger of a god. Those who would know to unseal a tomb bound by a millennium-old spell could likely be counted on the fingers of one hand. My hand freezes midair. The unspoken words linger between us for a few moments before I finally press my quill to the pages of the journal again, seemingly snapping the general from his continued unspoken thoughts. His gaze flits to me, and then to the space around me before he crosses his arms over his chest. His lips send to a firm line as if he knows what I'll ask him before I even open my mouth. You intend to question the gods? The Terra and his high priests and priestesses can communicate with the original gods in bits and pieces. They know their intentions, their views, see the shifts of the divine web before any mortal can. You think the Terra knew this could happen? He scoffs, one foot tapping impatiently against the floor. If he is as powerful as he says he is, they should be aware of most fates woven by the fingers of the gods. And what do you think was the aim? Let's start a riot! This winter bore the greatest losses ever seen by this long-enduring alliance. Some would blame the elven leadership for the grave numbers. Others might blame us. You think someone is trying to stage a power coup? The Shadow Master shrugs, and the action is human enough that I find myself staring. Whoever they are, only the gods can save them now, and they better pray long and hard because their chance of survival after that sorry stunt is 0. His eyes glitter like sharp ruby gems, and I recognize those words to be not a belief, but a promise. The complex web of information only seems to grow thicker and more convoluted. I hate to admit it, but the General has given me a lot to think about in the last minutes. My brain is running 1,000,000 miles per hour as I flip between the pages of information, picking through the bits and pieces I find important. Whatever question I want to ask next, however, doesn't see the pages as I hear his boots begin moving towards the door. I'll thank him. I'll be nice, even if he isn't. I glance up from my papers as he pulls the door open. Thank you for your time, General. His gaze flickers in my direction briefly as he pauses in the entryway. Do make an effort not to get yourself killed, investigator. Oh, see, who cares? Says the delusional thoughts. Not everyone loves obnoxious buttons meddling around their business. You dared me! He steps out and shuts the door behind him, leaving me staring indignantly at the space he'd just left. My earlier bout of fear completely forgotten, now replaced with a warm, boiling rage slithering underneath my chest. If I wasn't in an embassy building, I would scream. What a fucking ass! Sela, Pier, and Lovak give me strength. And now we got Mors Mortis. My head feels like it's swimming as I attempt to piece everything together. Nothing makes sense. There's still too much information I lack and too little time I have to figure this out. I feel restless, the squeezing of my stomach from nerves doubled by the rapidly growing hunger for something more serious than a cup of tea. Ayo. It forces me out of my chair into my door. With the amount of stress I'm under, if I don't eat anything, I might fall sick, and then I'd have really doomed us all. A light meal would have to suffice. Pulling the door open, I find myself staring back at 2 pairs of surprised green eyes. Hi! The aspect of death, one dark hand pulled into a fist, seems to have just been about to knock. Instead, he clears his throat and hides his hands behind his long cloak. I've come at a bad time. Oh, he's so calming. There's a relaxing presence. He steps back, serene, entirely different from the previous burning display of anger at the city square. It's all right, Natura. I was about to step out for lunch. I see. Then I won't keep you with my presence. That won't work for me. I desperately need answers. Would you like to join me for lunch? Actually, if it isn't entirely too bold of an invitation, considering the difference in our stations, you could join me? This way we won't waste time. 4 green eyes blink at me, and then scan me from top to bottom with distrust. Hey, buddy, I get it. Totally understandable, but I'm just trying to get to the bottom of this like everybody else, okay? For lunch? Whatever he sees in my following little nod seems to melt away his suspicions, replacing them with curiosity instead. He motions for me to walk ahead, and I do just that. A polite silence blanketing the space between us as we make our way into the embassy's canteen. It's a small but well-adorned decorated place with 3 rotating tables covered in banquet-style dishes for self-service. One tall window allows for daylight to enter and envelop the whole room. When I move to sit into one of the comfortable wooden chairs, Mors Mortis is quick to pull it out from behind me, surprising me as he pushes it in underneath me after. He's such a gentleman! I love him! Oh my god! Would you be comfortable with having me sit beside you? Or would you prefer to have me seated across? Pookies, pull up a chair beside me, please. The question puzzles me. I catch Mors Mortis once again scanning my face, searching for who knows what as I shrug. Sit wherever, Natura. We are in your city. And in your embassy, investigator. Do not forget that. I blink as he takes a seat beside me and lowers his hood. The eyes on his cheekbones scan through the dishes on display. I really would like to know how that works. Like, what is he seeing right now? Do the two below just move independently of the two above? Ask away. So I do just that. And did you notice anything unusual? Oh, look at his little ears. Can I pet them? Hours is a very broad amount of time. But yes, many things caught my attention. For one, my invisibility cloak has disappeared. You have an invisibility cloak? The joke is on my tongue. Gee, I wonder how. But I resist interrupting, stamping it down like any other intrusive thought. I couldn't complete my afternoon patrol yesterday because I was saving a soul in distress from sudden rain. Oh. My bad. I can feel his eyes linger pointedly on me as I write that down. And the dead, their immortal souls were restless. He frowns, his ears twitching. Even still, their bones seek to leave their graves through their flesh, though their flesh has been cleaved and turned into wax. How can you tell? Oh shit! That's how they get the cauldrons? They literally skin the dead? Okay, now that's kind of fucked. But who am I to question others' religions? I can see them, hear them, feel them, talk to them. His gaze shifts briefly to something above my shoulder, and I follow his gaze but spot nothing. Who's watching over me? A sigh escapes him before his gaze turns to the table and the food before me. I'm not sure I have the stomach for anything after that conversation. I must, however, persevere. When did your invisibility cloak disappear? I mean, it can't just be the dead, otherwise, like, the dead wouldn't have need of an invisibility cloak. Yesterday, after I left my house. What time was that around? I tend to lose track of time. It was still dark outside, so it was in the early hours of morn. Somewhere around 5 a.m. based on Nosh's path across the sky. So, moon god? And when did you return to find it missing? 10 p.m. A quarter hour after that, perhaps. That's a large gap of time. I know where I placed it when we returned from winter, and it wasn't there. Where do you usually place it? On the hanger beside the antidote rack. You can stop by when you have time and I'll show you what I mean. Oh, does he run an apothecary? You want me to stop by your house? I'm a sheep in wolf's clothing, investigator. My compatriots will confirm if you only ask them. I mean, I can tell that so far. Intimidating, but a big softie. Oh, I want to cuddle him. You can bring someone with you, if you're not comfortable, of course. I nod slowly, noting the opportunity in my journal. Was the ritual tampered with? Yes. How? Mors Mortis' eyes fall on the empty plate in front of me. There were runic configurations on the inside of the cauldron. I blink in surprise. Runes are ancient symbols imbued with magic, most commonly used for spellcasting. But runic is a dead language. Is anything truly dead if memory of it still lingers? The aspect of death rotates the traditional tables such that the vegetable dishes face us rather than the meat-centric ones. Either this man's a vegetarian, or he has astounding insight into those around him. I thank him and quietly pile some pickled vegetables onto my plate, pondering his last words. When I look back at him, I notice his ears have sharpened, and he has a tail? And his bustling tail has frozen in place, as if he is listening for something I can't hear. The eyes on his cheekbones have shifted their attention elsewhere. His features soften after a split second, and he turns his full focus back to me. Incessant spirits? Can't blame the dead for wanting to be heard. Does that get tiring? I'm totally ignoring the line of questioning for this, by the way. Like, I should have gone with, like, the inside, like, the runes on the inside of the cauldron. Do you know what they're for? Yada yada, but he's so cute. Doesn't that get tiring? Mortis knit his brows together, as if the thought was entirely foreign to him. It sounds like you have very little peace, because not only do you have to deal with the living, but with the dead as well. His tail swished behind him from left to right, and he seemed to ponder my words. The living only concern me when they're dying or injured. I recall the way he stood alone at the welcoming banquet a few evenings ago, unbothered by the lack of acknowledgement of his presence. Why is that? Because hope is the only thing more compelling than fear. I find myself once again uncertain about how to take his words, suddenly struck by the dichotomy of the life he lives, the aspect of death who also rules over Spes, elven city of hope. The infamous monster from horror stories whispered under the cover of night. At the Ares Empire was the quiet, gentle male before me. Who do you think is responsible? The aspect of death's expression turns unreadable. His eyes flicker away. A shadow falls across his face, and I know that he's thought of this already. For some reason, however, he refuses to share. His silence lasts long enough that I'm inclined to write down, refuses to respond in my journal. I pick up my chopsticks and take a quick couple of bites of the pickled carrots as I considered how to follow up the lack of a reply. Should I assume by your silence that you know who is to blame? No. I can speculate, but it will do nothing but draw suspicion to others who may not truly be the culprit. I feel grip? I grip my quill harder? First, he forces me to investigate his problem for him, then he refuses to help me? What a frustrating character. He makes a fair point, though. So you refuse to share anything that could be helpful? Mortis sighs and his large tail rustles against the floor. Your definition of help and mine differ. Your investigation will give you too many threads to follow. All suspects will give you information, but some of it may be twisted in such a way that is false. Furthermore, everyone is likely currently suspicious of everyone else, and that will cause disagreements and confusion. To be successful, an investigator should get to know everyone while being impartial. That's why I think you're perfect for this task. And if I fail, I die. What an honor. There are elements to everyone's behavior that can be dubious. Even mine, I'm sure. At this point, almost anyone can be blamed for what happened. I should leave you to the pleasure within the plates. I barely had a moment to blink as the aspect of death rose from his chair and put his hood back on. Wait, no, stay, Pookie! His cloak carried behind him a scent of fallen autumn leaves and burning candles. He hadn't had a bite or a sip as he made his way to the door. His eyes flickered once again to me, and then behind me. Something of a smile crossed his lips. Seriously, who's watching over me? You gonna spill? Remember, be a rat, not a lamb. The less meat on the bones, the less satisfying the prey. Huh. And that is the end of the demo. Alrighty, well, there's a lot going on there. Shit, okay. I would really like to know more about the Goddess of Chaos, first of all. I'd like to know more about all of the Seons. Like, ooh, if there could be like a DLC explaining like the whole back history of this all, that would be fucking fantastic. Although then again, we got a week to go through. So 6 more in-game days that we haven't gotten to experience yet. So maybe we'll get a lot more to unpack there. I'm really enjoying it so far. Sorry, very distracted. Minor feedback just being, again, like what I mentioned earlier with the music, it'd be really nice if it could flow into the loop a little bit better instead of there's like a really harsh cutoff before it comes back around again. Like right there, it just happened. Let's see. Oh my god, I would kill for some voice acting, but that's only because I'm doing this all myself. A couple of typos here and there, but otherwise, like, I'm really enjoying this. The characters are really interesting and they'll have their own individual personalities. Their designs are incredible. I love the differentiation between the different elves. It is a little bit interesting how we're very quickly pointed out about how the elves had like your traditional long pointy ears, but then like none of the Naturas actually look like elves. He's a wolf over here. You got yourself a sea nymph, then you got yourself a lion. So I am a little bit curious as to whether or not any of the other elves take on these animalistic properties, or if it's only reserved for the elemental guys. And I'd love to know more about the place that we come from. Like, we're hearing mentions of the dragons, and the winter, and I'm a little bit confused on what the war in the winter is. But again, I'm sure a lot of this is going to be unpacked. It's very much a natural storytelling that I'm seeing, rather than like dropping an exposition. You go in there as a character who actually knows what's going on and doesn't need to explain everything, which is good narratively. I need to see more to unpack a lot of it, so I really hope we get some more of those details. But yeah, I'm really enjoying it. I can't wait for it to come out in the full game. I've backed them on Kickstarter, so I've backed them at a tier that'll allow me to get the game as soon as it is released. So once that happens, you better bet I will be streaming the entire thing. But if you guys did enjoy this, go ahead. You can find them on Steam. They have their official website, Bottled Monster Inc. You can find them over on Twitter, but they aren't really like active on their Twitter, I've noticed. You would have a better chance over on TikTok. I don't use Instagram that often, so Instagram probably too. Their Discord is fairly active as well. Looks like a pretty good community. I'm not terribly active in it, but you know, I've been peeking in as I was preparing for this. And yeah, and then of course, go ahead and check them out on Kickstarter. Back the game. It's gonna be up for about a month. I think it's like 27 or 28 more days left. But yeah, it does look like that is gonna be it for us tonight, though. So of course, I want to thank you all so much for joining me. I do, of course, I appreciate y'all so much for coming out here, for coming out here. Nobody's fucking here, it's just me. Thank you for joining me. I do, of course, love and appreciate you all so very much. I do hope you all have a wonderfully demonic rest of your days and or nights, and I will catch you guys later, okay?